Hello, everybody. My name is Mitch Robinson, and welcome to our very special webinar. I'm joined here today by Ben Fairfield. We'll do our intros in a moment, but it's great to have you all aboard, whether you're watching live or years from now. It's all good. We're happy to have you along while we're waiting for everybody to join, and we have people coming on from everywhere. Let's see if I have something fun to share. Again, my name's Mitch Robinson, and I head up Real Estate News, realestatenews.com. Thank all of you for reading us every day. On behalf of our reporters and everybody else on the team, we work really hard to bring you the news every day and appreciate you joining us for this webinar. So while we're waiting for everybody to join, let's take a quick look at what's in the news today on Real Estate News. A great story from Andrea on NAR talking to MLSs about helping protect the Realtor brand. We've been hearing this forever. When do you say you're a Realtor and when do you not say it? And how can you say it? NAR has a stronger view on that, and that's in the news. Jack Miller from T360, our parent company. We are editorially independent of T360, but obviously connected to them. Jack Miller has a piece on commissions may not be getting lower. And is that a good or bad thing? We know from an Asia perspective how we feel about that. And even though there are a lot of ways, new ways that technology can help agents be more efficient, that doesn't mean commission rates are changing. And it's a really interesting piece. I suggest you give that a read today. And then some good news. Maybe the housing market is starting to improve a little bit. If we're past the worst of the pain, as the headline says, a great piece from Dave Gallagher, that's a good thing. We know that's very market specific. So read that story for yourself. Again, all these stories on realestatenews.com, along with many more things that will be posted today. So with that, I want to introduce our guest today, Ben Fairfield. Ben is the SVP of Customer Growth and Engagement at Inside Real Estate. He's got more than 20 years of working with teams and brokerages and coaching and all the stuff that agents need to be successful today. Ben, thanks so much for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm excited. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, you bet. And we're entering, we're kind of getting into the warm summer months. It's right around us, and it's a good time to kind of like I guess do a reality check of what's going on, and you kind of have your hand on the pulse of everything that's going on right now. And so we appreciate your smarts that hopefully can help our audience today as well. Let's just start with an obvious question.
Sure.
Every market is sort of different, but can you kind of generalize? Like, where do you think we're at right now?
Yeah, it's a great question. And I'm sure, like you, that's one I'm getting asked quite a bit, right? Like, what the heck is going on? Where are we going? Let me just say that if I had the crystal ball, or if Mitch did, we wouldn't be working. We'd be on a beach somewhere. So I
Yeah,
can't tell you with specifics where it's going to go, but what I can do and what I do almost every day is look at the data across the whole market, right? And
yep,
so I know we're hopefully going to be going in this direction. We can talk maybe some of the more nuanced of side of this and maybe the local market, but I think on a broad brush, national level, obviously we're all feeling the same constraints. We like to call them headwinds, right? And every
right.
market has headwinds. A lot of agents will sit and complain about the wins. The successful ones are going to adjust the sales and use that to their advantage. And so right now, like the headwinds, it's not going to be so shock, but we see inventory challenges, both shortages and not shortages. Again, depending on the markets, we have some markets where inventory is incredibly tight still, and we have others where they're actually back to where they were before COVID. So, mortgage rates, affordability, home affordability, obviously that's a big impact right now with a lot of buyers. And then generally speaking, the stuff in the Middle East and just a lot of factors going on in our world, it's really causing some new constraints that I think our buyers are feeling, our sellers are feeling, and I think agents are feeling. So I think the
Yeah.
challenge with all of that though is agents, if they're not careful, they can allow those headlines to get them into paralysis, and that's the worst thing they possibly can do.
Well, and that's it's funny you say that because I'm always thinking about there are certain things as an agent you just can't control. But
Yeah.
what you can control is what you do.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
And by the way, if folks, we do have a Q&A button, I believe, that people can hit, and we'll try to get to questions at the end if we have time. I wanted to sneak that in. Um, so if you're an agent kind of getting into the summer, like, where should your focus be? Like you can't necessarily change a mortgage rate, right?
Yeah.
But you
Yeah.
can focus on what you should be doing to be successful.
Absolutely. And I think, it goes back to a conversation I had a while ago with Dave Childers from KCM.
Yeah.
I think the market that we're in now is requiring, it's not a suggestion. Like I'm telling you right now, this is a requirement for those that want to really effectively help a lot of buyers and sellers. This is where we have to not only understand what's happening in the national market, but we then need to be able to explain and share that perspective and what that means in our local market. And I think that's the biggest thing we're seeing right now, because at Inside Real Estate, we service almost 500,000 clients, individual users for our platform. I have
Yeah.
access to almost every MLS in the country. And so I'm looking at this data on a regular basis. And what's fascinating to me, and I know it's no surprise to you, Mitch, you've been doing this a long time as well, that there are agents in every market, not just the good markets, which what
Yeah.
even does that mean? But there are
Right.
agents in every market who are having fantastic years, who are helping more clients than they did last year. And it's not because necessarily they're better agents or they're more skilled. It's because they've done a more effective job of taking what's happening up here on a national level and then really helping agents, or excuse me, clients in their local market really understand what the heck does this mean to me here, and really what's happening on our level. And I think that's the biggest thing right now that I see agents aren't doing, is spending time really not only understanding what's happening, but then take the next step and be able to actually effectively communicate that to their clients, because clients are hearing national headlines. And if we as agents aren't doing our job and taking that data and really helping the clients understand what does it mean here,
Yeah.
then we're losing and we're
And I,
already
and
behind.
And I think sometimes we forget, especially like industry guys like us, but also agents even, we're all kind of in the bubble. We
Yeah,
think about real estate 24/7, but our clients, those people that are thinking of buying or selling a home, it's like an every 7-year thing, maybe.
yeah,
They're not thinking about it. They don't have time to grok it. They're also just worried about getting their kids to soccer practice, or I have to get new
correct.
tires for my car. And then all of a sudden it's dropped into their world, right? Oh,
Yep.
I have to think about real estate. So I assume like they need an agent, like just help me understand it all.
100% in bite size, right? And I'm hopefully, again, hopefully we get to talk about this too, and we talk about maybe some strategies, but I think right now it's bite size. We have the attention span as humans of a goldfish, and so
Yeah.
throwing data at them and spreadsheets, like that's not effective. It doesn't, that doesn't pique their interest, and that's not how consumers consume today. So how do we take the relevant points and communicate those out in a way that's fast, quick, memorable? Because right now, like here's what I see. I see that agents, we are our own worst enemy in a lot of markets. Because I go out and speak all the time to different trade groups and companies and
Yeah.
all the stuff. And so I see a lot of I hear a lot of things from agents. And whatever you believe to be true about the market and what it means to consumers, more times than not, is what you're communicating, and it's what your clients are going to believe. So
Yeah.
here's some perspective, just a reminder to everybody, because I hear agents all the time, "Oh, this is a tough market or a bad market." Like, no, you just aren't effectively helping clients in the market, because there's no good or bad market in my opinion. There's just the market we have. And to your point, I can't control interest rates. I can't control what's happening in the Middle East. I can't control
Yeah.
the headwinds. What I can control is what am I doing inside of the market I have to help the clients that I have. It's like right now, perspective. I just shared this the other day. Don't forget, like for perspective's sake, no matter what's happening, 40% of homes in the US right now are owned free and clear.
Yeah.
40%.
Whoa.
And then of those, 27% have over 50% equity if they're not fully outright owned. It's like we're not in a foreclosure crisis. There's not a big shoe that's going to drop on the other side of this. We still our consumers, our clients, by and large, are still in a great spot. Now, do we have headwinds with buyers? Yes, affordability and all those things. I'm not Pollyanna here, but what I
Right.
am saying is, as agents, we have to have a proper perspective and be careful not to get sucked into the negative headlines of the national news and stuff saying like how bad things are. Because I don't know about you, Mitch, I've never seen a market in the history of our industry where a home didn't buy or sell.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And it's funny, it's I run real estate news, and we try to really find that balance between not, we don't want screaming headlines,
Yeah.
right? We're primarily for an audience of real estate agents and brokers and MLS leaders. And, you know, we do our best to take the drama out. And we also think about, clients too, consumers.
Yep.
Like, we don't need that drama. Sure, we want people to be informed. And again, I think that's where an agent provides so much value is putting context around what's going on. Because when it all comes down to it is you have a wonderful house that you need help selling, or you're looking for that place where you want to, create memories.
Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely.
so let's kind of move to the other half. We talked a little bit about helping clients understand what's going on, but let's get back to the agents that are with us right now and
Sure.
brokerage leaders. And everybody's kind of feeling like pressure when it comes to like marketing budgets. Like, where should I spend money? And I think sometimes agents, it's so easy, my friends can fall into this trap of like, there's a magic bullet out there, and I just need
Mm.
to find it.
Yep.
What are agents doing these days to spend their money wisely, or how do you decide?
Yeah. That's a great question.
We'll
So
just spend 2 hours on that then. So
yeah, that's a whole webinar in and of itself. No, I'll be brief, but it is really important because I think if you look in the last 5 to 10 years, when the market shifted, when it got tighter than it was before, again, I don't believe there's a bad market, but when it's changed significantly in a fairly short amount of time, what I've seen, because I'm still a licensed agent and broker as well, what I've
right.
seen is agents try to spend their way out of that kind of a market. Meaning, if my business slows down, I'll just spend more and then all of a sudden I'll compensate for that slowdown in my business. And that worked before. I don't think that works in this market. And so I don't think we're in a time where I can spend my way out of a slow business. I think there's things that correct spend, strategic spend, targeted spend. I think there's ways and appropriate use cases for that. But I don't think we can be lazy. I don't think this is that market. I think this is a market where we have to lean on our experience. And I'll tell you a quick story. I was just sharing this
Yeah.
with an audience when I was out speaking actually in your neck of the wood in Washington. I was in Bellevue, downtown Bellevue, speaking. And I told a story about Picasso. So there was a woman, she sees Picasso at a cafe. She's just enamored, right? She's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it's him. She goes up, she builds up the courage, asks him, said, hey, could you just draw me something really quickly? And he doesn't say a word. He just takes out a napkin and he starts drawing. And it's like 30 seconds, 60 seconds maybe. And he hands her the napkin and he says, that'll be $10,000. And she's outraged. She's like, are you kidding me? That took you 30 seconds and you're going to charge me 10 grand? And he corrected her and he said, no, it didn't take me 30 seconds. It took me 40 years.
Uh,
And my point in saying that story is like, this is the market for agents to leverage the experience that they have to be the agent that the clients need. It's not, we aren't rewarding TikTok influencers anymore in this industry. Those are not the ones who are building big businesses in this market.
yeah. So let me ask you. The phrase lead generation can be a charged term.
Yeah, 100%.
So some agents hear lead generation and they're like, "Yep, I'm going to make spend and I'm going to play with the levers." And other agents are like, "Oh, I just want to work with people."
Yeah.
How do you think about lead generation today? And like, is there a
Yeah.
good return on investment? I have a premise like use the lead generation that works for you and understand what that means. But like, how do you think about it?
Yeah, I think that yes, I agree with you. I do think that there is bad lead generation, and I agree with you because, and I think the reason is because we lump a lot of stuff into lead generation.
Yeah.
So as an industry, and again, I'm not throwing rocks at anybody listening. I love you because I am you. Like I'm not throwing rocks, but let's just be real here. We love distractions. We love doing things that stroke the ego. And if we really look at how we're using our time, we try to call it all lead generation. Like, oh, I'm doing a food review at this restaurant. Now, again, do some people build a business doing reviews? Yes, I'm going to interview one for our podcast coming up in about 3 hours. So I'm not saying there's no absolutes here, but I think by and large, oftentimes we go to the distractions, the things we like doing, and we or have prospect avoidance. We're trying to avoid doing the actual lead generation, and so we find all this other stuff that we enjoy that tickles our fancy and strokes the ego, and then we call it lead
Right.
generation, and then we don't actually generate any leads. I think that's
So,
one of the
so
biggest
what's an
problems.
actual lead generation? Is there a tactic or a general theme that you believe in?
Yeah, 100%. So when I'm working with agents, brokerages, teams, whatever the case may be, companies, in some cases, I think lead generation, the way I define it and the way I encourage those that I'm working with to define it, lead generation is any way that I'm getting myself in front of a ready, willing, and able consumer. Now that can
Okay.
take lots of different forms, but I need to be able to put myself in the position of the right people in close or as close to the right time as I possibly can. And then I need to have a call to action to get something back from them. Otherwise, if I'm just putting stuff out into the ether, I'm just, again, stroking my ego. I'm killing time, but I'm not actually being effective.
So how do you think then in terms of kind of return on investment when it comes to lead generation? Is it that you made the commission or a home and a home sold, or is it I put more people in my pipeline for the
Yeah.
future? Like where what's the
Great
answer?
question. Yeah, for me, again, everyone's got to define it for themselves, but I think for me, there's different types of lead generation. And I think here's another problem. We live in a Pop-Tart culture. Like we want everything now, and if we have to wait, right now is okay. Like, but we don't want it, we don't understand that lead generation is a process, it's not an event. Like if lead generation was just magic and I could trade $1 for a client, if it was that simple, I
Right.
don't want it to be that simple because if it was, we wouldn't be needed. Right. I think that's where we lose sight of the perspective and how this really works in our industry. Like we are all compensated in direct proportion to the value we provide our consumers.
Yeah.
And so I think that lead generation from an ROI standpoint, the way I look at it, is I need to get something back in return for what I'm putting out. Now, for some agents, that could simply be contact information, first name, last name, email, or phone number to grow the database. That's important. And if you're not growing it and feeding it every day, eventually it's going to die, right? Because the consumer timeline is expanding. We can talk about that. But the consumer timeline, the length of time between registering on a site and becoming a closed transaction, one side or the other, becoming a member of a party or a part of a transaction, that timeline's expanded dramatically over the course of the last few years. And so I need to grow my pipeline. So the ROI is important. I have to be getting something back, but I need to be careful, in my opinion, too, that I can't expect for every dollar here, I'm gonna get a good lead because I don't believe there's any such thing as a bad lead. There's just a lead that either A isn't ready yet, or B, you don't have a
Yeah.
process or system to work consistently over time so that when they're ready, you're there to help them.
So let's talk a little bit more about the pipeline because I kind of
Yeah.
find that it's so important. And I let me take it from two different perspectives. There's those that are already in the pipeline, and then there's adding to the pipeline.
Yeah.
And my favorite personal story is my wife and I bought a home a few years ago, and we used the same agent we had used 22 years before.
Mm.
And it wasn't that he sent me the calendar or the whatever.
Uh,
It was in that case, it was that he had provided such extraordinary service and checked in with me every couple of years just to say hi. Um,
yep.
that's just one instance. But talk to me a little bit about two aspects of the pipeline, filling it and then maintaining it.
Yeah. So I'll take it with maintaining first because I think this is probably one of the areas that if anyone listening, if any agent in our industry could just do one thing that would give them the significantly biggest return, meaning it would give them the most opportunity in return for the time that they invest or spend. Working the people that they already have is the most important. Like it's fascinating to me in this industry, and I've coached agents and brokers and teams and companies for years. It's fascinating to me because I've watched so many of us, we will go out of our way. We will spend time, we will spend money, we'll do everything we can to avoid talking to the people that we already know, that already probably like us and trust us, that have already, some of them, done deals with in the past. We'll do everything we can to avoid those conversations. And instead, we'll go look for complete strangers that aren't warmed up, that are way earlier in the stage, that we haven't earned that right or reputation or relationship with. And so
Yeah.
I think working the folks we already have, and I think we got to be careful there too, because when I say working them, I don't want to sound like a shakedown and like it's cheap because it's not. But I don't believe there's any such thing as a past client. Like if we're looking at the way I look at my database, because I still have one that I refer out to people. If I look at
Right.
my database, these aren't past clients. These are clients for life. These are clients that I'm going to add value to through systems and processes and all of those things. But I'm going to add value to them for life because I'm not just working them for a deal. And unfortunately, that's where a lot of agents fall into a trap. And so, as an example, we see a lot of agents. Now, hear me clearly. I'm not against buying online leads. I'm absolutely not. I'm also not against Zillow or any other big portal, insert name here. So that's not what I'm saying. What I am saying, though, is a lot of agents, they will go that route because it helps them in their mind avoid having to talk to the people that they already have. And so I think the way I look at the pipeline is I've got to look at it in two ways to your point. First, I need to have quality systems so that I have consistent value first content and follow up with those people so they know,
Yeah.
to your point, I'm still here. I'm still the expert. I'm still keeping track of what's happening and I'm still here to serve you. Like that's what they need to know on a consistent, regular basis because it's not their job to remember that you're in business. It's your job to stay top of mind with them.
So let me ask you, because you have this unique blend of, like you said, you're an agent, you talk to agents all the time, and you're
Mm.
also a leader at Inside Real Estate. What are your learnings on that side? Like, how do you do all that, and maybe use automation to help you do it?
Yes. So
Can you have it both ways, Ben? I guess is my question.
you absolutely can, but you need systems, right? So let me give you some stats because I use and these are not just inside real estate stats, these are industry stats.
Okay.
But for those that are listening, I would suggest you write this down because if this doesn't smack you between the eyes, I don't know what will. So in our industry, as of last year, rolling 12-month, nearly, it wasn't quite, but it was nearly 50% of leads, and we'll talk about that in a sec, because I think we misnomer that term a lot too.
Yeah,
But
I don't even love the term leads. I think you and I
no,
probably agree on that.
yes, but here's okay. I'm going to go on this rabbit real quick here. When they come to your website, they are averaging 8 to 10 other registrations on websites. So the mistake a lot of us make is, oh, look it, Mickey Mouse registered on my site. Congratulations, that's not a lead. That's a suspect.
That's a contact or a suspect, right?
Your
It's
job is to
somebody
take that.
like
Yes, you have to
you turn
convert
it
it
into a
then.
lead, right?
You turn it into a prospect. So what we
Yeah.
see, the way our systems break it down, somebody comes in, they're registering on eight, let's just say eight. They're registering on eight other competitors' sites, whether that's portals, other agents in your market. They're not your lead. But we call them that. Our industry has taught agents to call them a lead. That's hogwash. They are a suspect. Most times we don't even have a real first name for them yet.
Yeah.
Right. And so your job then is through consistent value forward communication, convert them from a suspect to a prospect. They're still not a lead. But
Right.
now at a prospect level, I've had a two-way conversation at least one time with them. I have a better idea of what it is they're looking for, so I can refine the value that I'm giving to them
Yep.
that's in alignment with what they're looking for. Then and only then do I convert them to a lead, right? And so I think, not to get on the rabbit trail there, but I want everyone to hear me. Like, we spend all this money generating leads, but here's what's crazy. The last 12 rolling months, nearly 50% of those leads were never followed up with, not even one time.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear what you're saying.
But it gets
Um,
worse. It gets worse, Mitch. Like it gets worse. The industry average for those that even do get followed up on is 1.2 times. So 1.2. I don't know how you do a point two, but we're just talking stats here, right? So
right.
1.2 is the average follow-ups per lead. Get this through our research. So Inside Real Estate, we are a big company. We serve a lot of clients from brands to independents, everything in between, teams, like you name it. So
Yeah.
I can see a lot of use cases and a lot of data. What we see to be true is the consumer, the actual consumer, it takes over 8 touch points to actually get to the point where they're going to talk to you. And so a lot of agents, they're buying all these leads, they're trying to fill the pipeline because that's what they're told to do, but they don't have a system in place to be able to do that consistent communication over time because we know it's going to take a longer amount of time. And so that's one of the things we provide is Bold Trail, which is a CRM. And again, CRMs are a CRM. They're all functionally fairly similar. It's not about the CRM itself. It's about what does this CRM and the attached tech allow you as the agent to do and not have to do, right? Because if it's dependent upon me
Yeah.
consistently communicating with them over the length of time it needs for them to become a lead, I'm not going to convert. And then guess what they're going to say, Mitch? Guess what all the agents are going to say then? They're going to say, see, I told you online lead generation doesn't work. I told you Mickey Mouse wasn't going to. I sold a house to a Mickey Mouse. No joke. I sold a house who registered at first as Mickey Mouse, right? So
Oh,
I'm telling you, like you need a process and a system that's going to do
Okay,
this
so
for you.
let me ask you. I don't want to, I can't
Yeah.
believe I've been talking to someone for 20 plus minutes and I haven't used the term AI yet. Like, and
Yeah.
AI is can be a real trigger word
Yes.
for folks. There's amazing parts of AI, there's scary parts of AI, and
Yep.
everything in between. How does AI fit into this world today, whether it's with Bold Trail or just the
Yeah.
general universe?
Yeah, it's a great question. And again, we could do a whole separate call just on this, but I'll be concise. I think the hard truth for most people listening here is that most of you are using AI incorrectly. And here's what I mean by that. I think if you look at social media, if you look at Facebook, now again, I love you all. I'm not throwing rocks, but I'm going to be real with you. I'm not here to tell you how amazing you are. I want to help you build your business. I
Yeah.
see so many agents that jump on the trend bandwagons of put in this prompt and create a new picture of yourself. It's like, what is that actually doing for? Like, how is that helping a consumer? Now, if that's what you want to do in your jams on your free time, that's cool. That's up to you, but that's not actually helping provide value to consumers. And so I think we're using AI incorrectly. Very surface level. Can it be effective? 100% it can be. But the amount of agents I see that are posting on social and it's so blatant we can see that they're not even taking the M dashes out. Like I can see in 30-second scan if this is AI generated or not. And guess what? If it's not, or if it is generated AI, I don't even read it. I keep scrolling.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
that the consumers are wise to that. They're becoming wise to that. And so I think AI is a phenomenal resource. We own multiple AI tools. We've purchased multiple AI companies at Bold Trail. We've integrated it into the back end, and I'll talk to you about like kind of how it's most effective. But I really want agents to hear like if you're just using it, and I don't mean this bad, but it just is what it is. If you're using it to be lazy and you're having it do all of your writing for you, you're becoming a commodity. You're becoming noise. And I think
Yeah.
in an AI age, authenticity is what everyone is craving. Consumers are craving authenticity. And so I think AI is an incredible tool. I think we as an industry are by and large are using it incorrectly. I think AI, what it can do is help you in a lot of different ways on the back end. And I'm happy to go deeper into those if we have time. But I think AI can help with a lot of the tasks, the repetitive, the data analysis. It's a good assistant. I want you to think about AI effectively in your real estate business. It should be an assistant, an advisor, or a consultant for you. It doesn't replace you because if it replaces
Yeah.
you, then we don't need you.
I kind of have a theory that consumers, clients, really don't care what you're using from a back office perspective. They want great service, great
Correct.
productivity. If you're using AI in the background, great. That may be something that allows you to spend more time with your clients, right? It
Bingo.
allows you to be more productive, to be smarter, but they don't really always need to know, like, guess what? I'm using AI. Because
No.
for some folks in the universe that are not in a corporate environment, again, they may not see that always as a plus. They just want to know you have all the right tools at your disposal, I assume.
Absolutely. Absolutely right. So I can give, if it's helpful, I can give the listeners a couple ideas of where we see AI being very, very helpful.
Yeah, go for it. And then I want to put up a slide to explain Bold Trail a little more because you've mentioned
Sure.
that. But go ahead first.
Okay. So let's talk about AI really quickly. Like this is practical, right? I want everyone listening to get ready to just take some notes because
Good.
it's not going to be printed, but you can use this today. Like a minute you get off this call, you can go use this. So my bet is that there are agents on this webinar, whether it's live or they're watching after the fact, that they have people in their CRM leads, quote, that have generated on their website that have gone cold. They've stopped talking to them. They've stopped responding. Here's one of the things I think is absolutely massive. It's a dead lead re-engagement hack. So I'll give you the prompt, but here's what I would do if I'm those agents. If I have some people that registered on my site, they've just kind of gone cold, they're not responding to me. I'm going to take all my communications with them, my emails, my text threads, everything that I sent to them, any response that I got along the way. I'm going to paste it into my AI of choice. No, you use whoever you want, right? That's a whole separate webinar again of which AI, because all of them do different things better than others. So you can't use just one for everything. But again, side note. But
Right.
here's the prompt I would use. I'd put all the conversations in, including any responses that they gave me, and I would tell it. I'd say, give me three highly creative, slightly humorous, or data forward ways to get this dialogue going again.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have it learn, look at the conversation so far, and again, using it as an assistant. I'm not having it write it for me. I'm saying, help me brainstorm here. Help me come up with a few ideas of ways I can use humor or something with this person to be able to get the conversation going again, right? I think that's huge. Another way we all have market data. Your market is going to be different than the person in the market next to you's, but we all
Right.
have lots of data. Gemini is my favorite for data analysis because it integrates with Google Sheets and everything else. It's very good at looking for patterns and trends. But
Yeah.
if you have a bunch of data, if you're not a data person by nature, I'm not. But if you're not a data person by nature, I put all the data for something I'm looking to into like Gemini as an example, and I'll tell it, give me the absolute simplest. Talk to me like I'm a third grader. Give me the simplest bullet point analysis of what you see, trends, and talking points. And all of a
Yeah.
sudden, it's going to do what could have taken you 3 days. It's going to do in 30 seconds. And it just gets you moving faster in the right direction. But I'm not having it be me. I'm
Right.
leaning on it to advise me.
Well, and sometimes just what you just suggested, it opens your mind.
Yeah,
If nothing else, it's like, I don't need a tactical decision right now. Help me
correct.
understand something. Just like when I take pictures around my house and I don't understand what a hole in the ground is with a tube, and AI can be like, Mitch, let me explain what's going on here.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
sometimes that's what we need as agents and
Just remove blockers.
as
Yep,
leaders. Let me pull up this slide because you've mentioned Bolt Trail a couple times.
sure.
So tell us a little bit about what we're looking at here for folks that want a little more help because there's some great stuff here.
Yeah, and again, you use whatever you're going to use because no system's going to work for you if you don't use it. I use the analogy of I could give Mitch a Ferrari, but if I forget to put an engine in it, it's not going to be of any practical use, right? So the engine, the fuel in your business is actually you using it, putting leads into it, giving it the fuel it needs to be able to function and work. But like I told you before, CRMs are CRMs. Like the fact that you can put people in and take notes, that's cool, but that's not cutting edge, right? In my mind, what matters more, and I was using this system before I came to work here, so I'm not just blowing smoke or towing the company line. I think what makes the difference is how is AI integrated into the CRM? Like practically speaking, are they just using it for a flashy buzzword to get the attention to look like they're competitive with everyone else? Or is it
Right.
actually practically built in so that it's giving me time back? Because that's, in my opinion, what a successful CRM and a tech stack should do for you as an agent is give you your time back. And so we've purchased multiple AI companies, but here's the deal, Mitch, really quick, as a practical example. We know that consumers on a large scale go to Zillow for data,
Yep.
right? They're not going to Zillow for the About Me page. And I know most agents love their About Me page. Like that's their favorite page on their website. And they'll spend 3 days getting it looking just right. And the only person that cares about that is their mom. Like
Right.
consumers don't care about the About Me page. What they care about is how do you get me to the properties I'm looking for as fast as possible and as few as clicks as possible and make the process intuitive. And so that's what we've done with one example of many of AI companies we've purchased and brought in. We now have better AI experience for the consumers. So it's watching what are they clicking on? What are they doing when you're not actually watching? And then every day with our new Streams app, the agents are opening it and it's telling them, hey, Mitch visited the site 3 times in the last 2 days. He looked at these types of properties. So not only is it giving you, the agent, the prompt, but it's also adjusting on the back end what it's sending in real time. And so now, instead of Mitch looking for homes with pools and my site sending him horse properties, it's helping me get him the information as quickly as possible, intuitively as possible, without me having to be the one in there doing it in real time. That's the most important thing for AI. It should help replace you in terms of the time wasting stuff to free up your time to then go reach out to Mitch and say, hey, I saw you were looking for this. I've adjusted the site. What else is important to you? What did you like about that property on 123 Main Street?
Got it. Got it. Well, I can see there's a QR code there, so hopefully people are grabbing their phones, pointing at the screen right now. If they just want to get a hold of you, should they go through the QR code or anything else
Yeah, if they want
contact
to learn
wise?
more about the product, definitely use the QR code. There are people much smarter than I am that can answer all their questions. But if I can be of any help, my job is to help our users build their business and be more effective and make more money, help more clients. They can find me. I'm on all the social media channels. They can reach out to me. I'm here to help.
Okay, awesome. And one more slide I have. Listen, we're thrilled that Inside Real Estate Boat Trail, you guys are a big part of our next big real estate news T360 event, which is in Dallas the end of October. Edge, the
Yeah.
Tech and Data Forum. There's another QR code because you can't have enough QR codes to look at. And thanks to Inside Real Estate, you can save $200 off your reg to join us there. Inside Real Estate will obviously be there with a lot of other great speakers, companies to help us figure out all this stuff because we have to keep learning about this. So look forward to seeing everybody there. Take advantage of that discount thanks to our friends here at Inside Real Estate. I'm talking slow to leave that up just for a second so people can grab it. So there it is. And Ben, I just want to thank you so much. I feel like you and I could do this every week and talk about this. I love talking about this, and I
Absolutely.
hope the folks joining us today got some great value from it.
Absolutely. Thanks for the invite. It was awesome.
All right, take care, Ben, and thank you everybody for joining us. We appreciate it.